Oh, hello everybody. It's me, Chris Smith. Look how washed out and bland I look. My hair looks like it's yellow or something. My neck is drooping. Anyway, it's Chris Smith time and I'm Chris Smith. I looked at the calendar today and I was like, why, November 16th, 2022, it's been 35 years to the day that Oprah Winfrey came to our town of Williamson, West Virginia. Of course, I don't live there now, so it's not really my town, but I used to live there. And she came and did an episode of her show there. It was very popular. Back, they used to repeat it all the time, and it was the one where the young man who had AIDS had gone swimming in the swimming pool, the public swimming pool in our town, in 1987. In those days they didn't know as much about AIDS, how to catch it, how to, really very much at all. And so he was swimming. My niece was there that day. She was just telling me on the phone. And they called a water safety check, got everybody out of the pool, and then they told them that the pool had to close down. And of course, it made the news that that's why they closed the pool, because this man who had AIDS was swimming, and they drained the pool of the water and they scrubbed the pool. It made national news. And then Oprah came to our town and did an episode where you were it was like in the round. And so the townspeople were at the field house in beautiful West End. It's not, well, I was going to say it's not really beautiful. It's not too bad. So it was in the field house, and they had seats all around, and then Oprah and Mike Cisco, the young man who had been from that town and left, and he came back, he said, basically to die, because he didn't know how long he had. And people were very mean to him. They made life a living hell for him and his family, and so it was a whole terrible thing. And the people there that day, there were a lot of people that were like, lock him up, put him on a reservation like they did the Indians. That's an actual quote that somebody said. And they were so angry. People were angry, not just that he had AIDS, they were angry that he was gay. They were, it was like an angry mob. And I was in the audience that day. Me, my friend Abigail, our friend Scott, and of course Barbara, and who was my girlfriend. Yes, girlfriend. And anyway, what's interesting, they had put an ad in the newspaper, and I wanted to have all this stuff here. Somewhere I have a picture of the ad that they put in the newspaper saying that Oprah was coming to town. There was a phone number that you could call and get tickets for free. So I called, and they say, and it's somebody asking questions, and they asked me, what would you do if someone with AIDS lived next door to you? And I said, well, I wouldn't do anything. I would say hello to them if I saw them. It would be no different than anybody else who lived next door to me. And they said, we'll let you know. And then we come to find out that if you called there saying, I think he should be locked up, and act like a fool, then you would get a ticket and a guest. So you would get 2 tickets. So I can't remember who called. Maybe Scott and Barbara called to, sort of say controversial things so that we could get tickets. And because they told me they would let me know, they never said anything. So I was not getting into that show. So Barbara called up and she was like, what if I'd had a child and he had a cut on his leg and Mike peed in the pool and then my child got AIDS that way? Of course, that's not possible, we know. And they were like, you have 2 tickets waiting in your name. So it seemed like they were filling the audience with angry, uninformed people. And of course, there were some nice people on both sides. Shouldn't quote that. I won't even say who I was imitating there. But yeah, there were good people in the audience, and there were some people that weren't so great. And some of us thought that it made the town look bad. Now, hold on one second. Okay, here's a still photo from the show. Now, I was sitting directly across from Oprah, pictured here, and Mike Sisko, pictured here. I don't know who she is, but I was like practically that close. What you're seeing there was what my view was. You could smell Oprah's perfume. Oh, look how bad I look. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you could smell her perfume. That's how close we were to her. And it was very scary being there because it seemed like a mob of angry people. There was this man that no one had ever heard of, and he was very well spoken. No one recognized him. He was not from our town. And then come to find out he lived in Charleston, West Virginia, and he had traveled there. And there was a doctor who, I'm told his name is Dr. Woodrow Myers. And he was like the expert who was telling people how you could and couldn't get this disease. And this man was very angry and was yelling at this doctor. And it was very frightening. Yes, so it just seemed sort of like an angry mob of people. I mean, people didn't have pitchforks or anything, but people were very angry. They were angry about the fact that Mike was gay. They were angry about the fact that he had AIDS, that he was in their community, and it was very frightening. And when we got in there before the show started and was live, and you couldn't tell where the camera was because there was a monitor, and you, like when we would come back from commercials, you could see the shot of that the cameras were doing, and then the monitor would go black. So you never knew if the camera was on you or not. And my lips were very dry then because I was taking medicine for acne called Accutane. And one of the side effects was it gave you really dry lips. I was always having to put Vaseline on my lips. And that day I just felt very dry. And so I was sort of like, trying to moisten them up. Wouldn't you know, the camera was right on me, and I was like, And so anyway, used to this episode, they would show it all the time on repeats, and it was available on YouTube for a while, and now you can't see it. You can see clips of it. But look it up if you want to see what life was like 35 years ago. And I haven't really spoken about this on this show. I would like to speak more at length about it. Maybe for the 40th anniversary. It's still too soon. But 35 years ago, on this very day, November 16th, 1987. Crazy. I was practically just a little child. I was just out of high school. And now look at me. Look at me! Okay, I just thought I would talk about that today on this anniversary. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.